Muhammad was executed for killing Dean Harold Myers, who was shot in the head at a Manassas gas station during the 3-week spree across Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. The shootings terrorized the Washington region, as victim after victim was shot down while doing everyday chores, shopping, pumping gas, mowing the lawn. One child was shot while walking into his middle school. People stayed indoors. Those who had to go outside weaved as they walked or bobbed their heads to make themselves a less easy target. The terror ended on the 24th of October, 2002, when police captured Muhammad and his teenage accomplice, Lee Boyd Malvo, while they slept at a Maryland rest stop in a car they had outfitted for a shooter to perch in its trunk without being detected. Malvo, who was 17 when carrying out the attacks, was sentenced to life in prison without parole for killing Linda Franklin, a 47-year-old FBI analyst who was shot as she and her husband loaded supplies at a Home Depot in Falls Church, Virginia. The men also were suspected of fatal shootings in other states, including Louisiana, Alabama, and Arizona. Nelson Rivera, whose wife, Lori Ann Lewis Rivera, was gunned down as she vacuumed her van at a Maryland gas station, said that when he watched Muhammad's chest moving for the last time, he was glad. "I feel better. I think I can breathe better, and I'm happy he's gone because he's not going to hurt anyone else," he said. Muhammad never testified or explained why he directed the shootings, and his secrets died with him. Myers' brother, Bob Myers, said watching the execution was sobering and surreal. "I would have liked him at some point in the process to take responsibility, to show remorse," Myers said. "We didn't get any of that tonight." J. Wendell Gordon, one of Muhammad's attorneys, described his client in his final hours as fearless and still insisting he was innocent. "He will die with dignity. Dignity to the point of defiance," Gordon said. The U.S. Supreme Court turned down Muhammad's final appeal Monday, and Virginia Governor Timothy M. Kaine denied clemency Tuesday. Muhammad's attorneys had asked Kaine to commute his sentence to life in prison because they said Muhammad had brain damage and neurological problems, as well as psychotic and delusional behavior, exacerbated by the Gulf War syndrome he suffered as a sergeant in the First Iraq War. "I think crimes that are this horrible, you just can't understand them, you can't explain them," said Kaine, a Democrat known for carefully considering death penalty cases. "They completely dwarf your ability to look into the life of a person who would do something like this and understand why." A small group of death penalty opponents gathered on a grassy area near the prison and had a sign reading, "We remember the victims, but not with more killing." Muhammad was born John Allen Williams and changed his name after converting to Islam. He had been in and out of the military since he graduated from high school in Louisiana and entered the National Guard. He joined the Army in 1985. The motive for the attacks remains murky. Malvo said Muhammad wanted to extort $10 million from the government to set up a camp in Canada where homeless children would be trained as terrorists. Muhammad's ex-wife said she believes the killings were a smokescreen for his plan to kill her and regain custody of their 3 children. Sonia Hollingsworth Wills, the mother of Conrad Johnson, the last man slain that October, sat in the back seat of a car outside the prison before the execution, which she chose not to witness. But she said she wanted to be there and was counting the minutes until Muhammad's death. "It was the most horrifying day of my life," she said. "I'll never get complete closure, but at least I can put this behind me."